Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right.
Hello, and welcome back to the Zoloft. Isn't it weird how people go on and on about how much they demand freedom while they invest in oppression? Oppression sells itself like street drugs. Meanwhile, freedom is harder to sell than a dental appointment. But oppression comes disguised as freedom, like freedom in drag. And this promiscuous drag queen attracts people because it promises to put out. Straight men, drunk with the idea of getting what they want, gravitate to it without caring about the consequences. Gay men gravitate to it for obvious reasons. Women gravitate to it because it's hip, cool, open-minded, and empowering to be sexually adventurous with different partners regardless of gender. Yet they despise men for their bed-bouncing behavior, yet they seek to feel empowered by behaving like what they despise. But yes, oppression is a seductive drag queen, while freedom is that pretty girl or handsome guy next door with all the right qualities. But there's a catch. Freedom wants commitment. And we know how too many Americans feel about the C word. Oppression is the drag queen that makes you believe there is no commitment. Or if anything, it makes you feel like you're being socially responsible to make other people feel like they have to be committed to what you want. It lures you in, making you think you're gonna get something for free. And when you get into the sheets with it, aren't you in for a surprise? And though you didn't want commitment, you may find that you got stuck with something anyway. And then you're gonna demand that other people pay for the choice you made. Which means now oppression is using you to oppress others. All this because of the desire for instant gratification and selfishness. Freedom, on the other hand, doesn't do instant gratification. You have to work at it. And when you work at it, it doesn't force an expense on anyone else. But too many Americans are sold on the idea that someone else should work at it so they can enjoy a roll in the hay with freedom. And when they feel like they're denied that, they only see freedom as oppression and are convinced that the drag queen called oppression is freedom. Thus, they embrace oppression. That's why we end up with a president like Obama for 2 terms and why Hillary is getting closer to the White House. Woe to those who don't know light from dark, bitter from sweet, good from evil, man from tran. But embrace oppression because too many people think that freedom is something they should enjoy at the forced expense of someone else. That's the sweet seduction of it. That's why the Democrats demanded to keep slavery legal. The idea that somebody could be comfortable while somebody else worked their behind off? Well, guess what? Democrats are still the same today. The idea that somebody can work their behind off while you enjoy the fruits of their labor? I want free college, and I want free health care, and I want transportation, and I want free housing. I want your taxes to fund my artistry. I want to benefit off of what you worked for. That's Democrats, yesterday and today. And then the other dynamic is, do you really think this is all about the economy? A lot of these people vote for these Democrats because they want the satisfaction of seeing the business owner get sodomized by the drag queen. And then they turn around and get mad anyway and cry corporate welfare when the business owners have to survive, and so they end up getting into bed with the drag queen anyway. You demanded that the business owners get screwed, and then when they get in bed with the screwer, you're still mad. And still demanding freedom while you're the ones who give the finger to freedom because you don't recognize freedom. You're blinded because you want to be a part of the collectivist orgy hosted by the drag queen of oppression masquerading as freedom. And those seduced by the DQ are suckered by the DQ's slander. Because when the few of us who actually see how freedom works see the DQ of oppression for what it really is and try to warn the people, saying, hey, that's not who you think that is. The DQ of oppression accuses us of being intolerant, closed-minded, homophobic, racist, sexist, etc. And those seduced by the DQ of oppression curse us for it. Too many people are made to be sour grapers. They're made to feel like the American dream is just a dream by people who get rich off of telling people that the American dream is just a dream. Or they're seduced by Democrat politicians who promise to make their dreams come true by intruding upon others who are living the dream. Democrats call that fairness. Yeah, that's progressive. Why are Democrats able to get away with this? Because oppression has amassed legions of people who have been conditioned since kindergarten. Kindergarten through the grade school years, through college, through music, TV, movies, fashion, video games, sports, etc. Oppression's influence is constantly promoted, conveyed to us through mediums we need and enjoy. But strangely enough, freedom doesn't seem to have that same culture behind it. There isn't that much of a culture that demands the supply of promotionals for actual freedom. The real kind of freedom that has the balance that says your ideas of rights and freedoms can't intrude upon another's rights and freedoms. Now sure, we show our support for freedom in how much we support the troops, and God bless them. But why are we so limited to support the promotion of freedom in the form of a person getting their limbs blown off or killed? Is that the only way we show our support for freedom? Our men and women in the military deserve way better than risking their limbs and their lives fighting oppression overseas while we're letting oppression grow in our own country. What an insult to them. While we don't do much to promote freedom, oppression becomes more and more fashionable. Haven't you seen vets who ask, I went to war just so this crap could happen in my own country? And why is this happening? Because there is little demand for the supply of the promotion of freedom. The best we offer is putting our hopes in politicians we can't even agree on. Trump, yeah, Cruz, yeah, Johnson, yeah. Government's not the answer while y'all fight over which politician is the answer. We're tired of the two-party corruption. How do we solve it? Well, three-party corruption, of course. Anyway, y'all, that's why I'm often reminding you of support. Because a lot of times the efforts of people trying to promote freedom in the culture gets taken for granted. And I know it's a drag, y'all, but I do have to constantly remind folks to support, because if I don't, support tanks. I'd like to think that y'all enjoy my commentaries, but in order for me to regularly supply them, I need a show of regular demand. These commentaries take time to do, and when things take time, they often take money too. And I actually sometimes get people offended by this, and they say, Zo, you're always hounding us for money. No, me sending a collection agency after you would be hounding you for money. And I can't do that for this. But if you dig the commentaries, find them insightful, and appreciate that I'm giving the commentaries that a lot of people really don't want to make, well, hit that tip jar. Man, thank you so much, Zo, for saying the things that I'm thinking, because if I said those things, man, I would be in trouble. Anyway, bye. And y'all, please don't assume that I make a whole bunch of money off of revenue shares. YouTube has looked for any reason to pretty much find all of my Zoloft videos so offensive, so they deny my videos from being monetized. I'm getting pretty marginalized, y'all. The visibility of my vids are also greatly reduced, so people hardly see them on YouTube or Facebook. Like if this video went viral, I would be shocked. But I got like almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 100,000 followers on Facebook, but my view counts often don't reflect that. But y'all, if you want messaging that counters the liberal narrative that's screwing up our country, it takes support. We keep saying that we're pro-free market, but we're not really taking advantage of it. Liberals take more advantage of the free market than we do, but they also take it for granted more too. But y'all, if you keep your eyes focused on a politician, you can't expect freedom to be promoted. But if you start showing demand for it on a cultural level, the market for it will grow and it'll start to pay for itself. I'm trying to do my part to get that started. We've already got talk radio and we got a news channel, but that's missing a huge demographic of people to relate the message to. A lot of people don't want conservative values preached to them. It's like getting a kid to eat more fruit instead of candy. You might have better luck getting the fruit to them if you put it in a smoothie. It's still fruit, it's just how it's delivered. It's an ongoing effort, y'all. It don't stop. Freedom has to be maintained. A republic, if we can keep it, remember? There's always going to be people trying to screw it up. We will always have to do our part to keep them from screwing it up completely. There's even some of my cynical Christian brothers and sisters out there that say America's gonna fall anyway, but God is still on the throne. Y'all, if America falls, then that means that we won't have the freedom to spread the gospel. You think that pleases God? The freedom to spread the gospel pleases God, not sitting in a bubble saying God is on the throne. And America is decaying more and more because the gospel is being marginalized more and more. So what do you say we push back? Liberals are using creative means to sell their poison. I hope you'll support the creative means to get people the antidote. Many folks be like, Zo, why don't you have a show on Fox News? Why make Fox News the center of conservative views? I thought as conservatives we didn't like centralization. How do we broaden the cultural reach if we're just limited to Fox News? Well, Zo, why don't you get a show on MSNBC or CNN? Well, why would I want to increase their ratings? And then there's, hey, Zo, why don't you run for office? Because government's not the answer. Jesus is the answer. Jesus took it to the culture. And his influence has lasted for over 2,000 years. And his influence is what has kept us from completely annihilating each other. Let's follow that lead and take it to the culture instead of hoping for a political messiah. So much funding goes towards dolling up oppression to seduce the masses. They get funding from other countries to promote this narrative. Where's our in-house funding to promote the preservation of our republic? But y'all, freedom is a natural beauty, but freedom wants commitment. Are you committed? I hope you'll support Bronze Serpent Media at AlfonZoRacial.com. And thank you so much to y'all who have been supporting. Oh, aren't you in for a surprise?
The Exodus will be so fast. Find the lightning.